Over 4 years of the amazing digital circus, and now it's all over. From the great fandoms to the endless possibilities shaping this community, Glitch, Goosework, and all of Team Glitch has done a very good job. We ran through the good parts, the bad parts, the really good parts, and the really bad parts, all leading up to this moment right here. Now, I won't make this intro any longer than it needs to be. No, I think it needs to be very short, and I mean, many theorizers have already looked into this piece of media, and all the way from episode 1 to episode 7, including some spin off, I've developed the top theories that I can conclude. Now, most of these may just be some repeating information you already know, but if you already know it, then just skip past it. If you don't know it, gain some information from it. Now, let's get straight into it. Now, let's see. The first one we got here is the brain scan clone theory. Now, this one is more of the logical theories more than just speculation. Um, so this one states that when a user puts on the headset, the device scans their brain, uploading a digital copy of their consciousness, memories, and emotions into the circuits, and the horrible indication means that the real humans are back in the real world and going on with their lives, unaware that that part of their consciousness is suffering, trapped in a version of them that exists in the game. Now, I can widely say this one could be proven. Um, More as to what Pomni says right here in the season and in the episode.
With all that being said and done, Abby is out there, living her best life. And here, I'm just Pomni.
So we can probably conclude that this brain scan clone theory, that one could be accepted. That one could be pretty good. Now, the second one is that Bubble is a virus. Now, most people already know about Kane's eccentric and obedient little assistant, but some fans believe that Bubble is a dormant, malicious computer virus or a discarded AI. Now, some clues can be found in Bubble's unexplained erratic behavior, like overriding Kane's filter to swear and appearing in locations where characters begin to abstract. Um, and yeah. Now, this theory, I can honestly see where they were going with this. Bubble speaking backwards, Bubble just being everywhere, Bubble trolling Kane when he freaked out about the characters, going off on him in season 6. I mean episode 6. I keep on saying season. So, yeah, I can understand it, yeah. So, this one it can stand up pretty good up there. So, I believe it. Now, the next one we have is Kane was created by Kinger. That's a lot of K's. Well, that's a lot of. This theory posits that Kinger, the oldest and most unhinged member of the circus, is a former computer scientist who created Kane to run the game. Now, this suggests that Kinger pretends not to remember how his friend Queenie abstracted because he harbors the intense skill about creating the AI that torments them all, and him eventually. Now, this one actually stands up there because when he was talking about Scratch in episode 6 or episode 7, he actually on how elaborated more on how Scratch and him they worked together and stuff, and how Scratch created the circus, but Kinger created more of it. Well, Kinger co-created more of it too. So this one actually stands up there and the one that makes most sense. Like we actually get more dialogue in Kinger, explaining how Kane was created, the circus was created, all the AI and stuff, like just the AI in general was created. So yeah, I believe that. I believe that. I say that. Hmm. Could Pomni possibly autistic? I mean, she shows some traits of it. Man, I'll make a video about it later. Anyway, uh, the last uh, the last theory that I want to explore that I found online is that Pomni's name. Now, people say that Pomni's name translates to remember in Russian, and after doing some quick diving in research, that is sorta correct. If you see right here, that is kind of correct. I mean, if we flip it a little, is more of Pomnet.
помнить,
Pomnit. Pomnit. It's not really Pomni, it's Pomnit. But we remove just these, and then
помни,
it's still remember. So, okay, so it's already starting to believe. Now, they believe that this is a direct command from the system telling her that she needs to piece together her pre-game identity if ever to find a way out or escape. But now going back into the first theory that we said about them being a brain scan clone. What is escape for these clones? Like if they're just brain scans of the original people, then what is escape for them? Like going back into the consciousness? I don't get it. Like do they die? Like do they finally rest or like what happens like when they escape if they escape? That's probably why they can't escape because they're brain scan clones. So yeah, yeah. Now I want to talk about more of the underground theories for the last episode of the Amazing Digital Circus. And I'm sorry if I've been saying episode 7 in relation to the last episode of TADC. I meant episode 9. I'm so sorry. I did not mean episode 7. Y'all can scream in the comments or do whatever you want. I did not mean episode 7. I meant episode 9. That is my fault. All my fault. Okay? Alright. Now, let's see. First we got the circus wasn't a real prison. Now, I believe that the characters were mentally trapped by their own fears and guilt more than the digital circus itself. Escaping emotionally was more important than physically getting your consciousness out of the circus. Now this one I want to prove with more psychological information than physical information. So, when we look at episode 9, we see them like going through turmoil. We see them going through like all sorts of distress and dilemmas and all that. Even right here, Gangle is losing control because she still has that mask on, and that's only Jax's memory of what happens is if one of each character abstracts, you know. So this one could hold up mentally, but physical information is not provided, so I'll leave that one to the side. Alright, now next we have Kinga remembers more than he can admit. Now, I noticed in the last act that Kinger often seemed confused at times, but sometimes thinks he purposely hid what he knew until the right moment. Now, it's because he understood the system better than everyone because, well, he created it. So, this one, this one is actually pretty good and because when they was all in that cafe that time, and Pomni got a bucket and put her over Kinger's head, let it marinate for a while, Kinger started to catch on that he thinks better in darkness. That's why he's in that pillow foot all the time. Now, most fans can already conclude this from probably the beach party episode. So yeah, that one could be concluded with some good evidence. Kinger only remembers good when he's in darkness, so he can remember a lot of things. only when he's in darkness. That's why he only stays in his pillow fort. He concluded that from the first time he went in the circus, and he was the last survivor of the OG members of the circus, you know. So, yeah, and then he started to help everyone, you know, because of his past actions with all his other friends that first came into the circus. So, yeah, yeah, this one could be good. All right. Next up is next up is that the real message of the Amazing Digital Circus was about accepting change. Now, rather than being about escaping a computer simulation, some some people like myself think that the series was always about learning to live with change and loss and uncertainty instead of trying to go back to their past. Now, this one ties with Jack's very good. How he can't really go about change, and the he always has the same routine of tormenting the people in the circus, going back to his room, and just drowning out his pain with whatever he thinks of in that moment. And now I would like to tie this with good, solid evidence, but currently I can't find any during the making of this video. So we'll leave that scrapped too, you know, we'll leave that also scrapped. So, and the last one I want to say is the ending wasn't completely good or bad, you know. Now, going through some research for for this video, I seen that most people weren't really happy with the outcome of the situations of the Amazing Digital Circus. Even the film theorists thought that the ending could have been way different or better or something like that. Most theorists they weren't completely decisive on whether they liked the ending or not. Me, I say it wasn't going to be happy or sad to begin with. Now, this is more of a hush hush theory than the this is a more hush hush theory than what says about it. Now, the finale wasn't meant to be bittersweet or anything. The characters didn't get a perfect ending, but they simply learned how to move forward. You know, they forgave Kane, they moved on to a happier life inside the digital circus, and you know, they came to the strict ties and conclusions that they weren't going to leave. You know, they just decided their fate, they stuck with it, and they moved on with life. That's all you have to do. You just have to accept your fate and move on with it. You can either live in the past trying to change things that can't be changed, or you can move on with it. And they chose to move on with it. That's what I liked more about this theory, that it actually ties in how is how the ending wasn't really good or bad. It was just how Gooseworks and Glitch intended it to be. No filler, no extra specials, no nothing. Just moving on. Just moving on. Anyway, I think our time is up. I think that's the end of these theories. I hope you liked this video. More will be out, and between me and you, there might even be a special Pomni video too. Hush, hush. Now, hit likes and subscribes. Love you guys. Have a good day. Bye.